Juuse Saros is staying put in Smashville. He has reportedly agreed to a long-term extension that will keep him a Pred for what would likely be the remainder of his career. $7.74 million on the AAV for the 8-year deal, Frank. I always get such a chuckle out of contracts that end with the player's jersey number. It's like, oh, you have this big, long, tough negotiation. Then it's like, can we end it with my jersey number?
Yeah, instead of 775, let's take 10,000 less and make it 774.
It just feels so goofy. But anyways, I think this contract and the AAV behind it shows, one, tax-free state, but also Saros wanted to be a Pred.
That part was clear. And I think the tougher part was if you're Nashville determining, is Juuse Saros, does this make sense given that we've invested significant first-round capital in Yaroslav Askarov? That's where things really start to get interesting now for the Nashville Predators. Got a new trade targets board coming later today. Askarov will be on that board. I think a lot of teams have now gotten the sense that the Preds are looking for a backup goalie to play under Saros. Askarov, the plan is to send him to AHL Milwaukee. If you've just signed Saros to an 8-year deal, there is 0 point in having a player of that pedigree, a goalie of that pedigree, sitting in the AHL. So he becomes an immediate trade target. And I'm really curious to see who tries to step up to land a player like that. Askarov's numbers have been pretty good in Milwaukee. So what do you do next?
Exactly. It does become a really prime trade chip for Barry Trotz to use. We saw last summer, it was the summer of a cultural reset of sorts in Nashville, right? They made tough decisions on some buyouts and some older players. They brought in pieces like Luke Shen and Ryan O'Reilly to kind of, reset their room to an extent, I think is a fair way to put it. And now you look at this summer with oodles of cap space, and now all of a sudden, one of the better young trade chips out there in Askarov. What do you think Barry Trotz is going to get up to in the next couple of days here?
Oh, I think he's trying to be aggressive. He has not hid from the fact that he can't mention the player by name, but even in a radio interview he did recently, he talked about a really good player out of Toronto that the Nashville Predators would be interested in, and Mitch Marner. So it's been no secret. They were one of the teams that I assumed would be on the list trying to work out a deal to land a player of that magnitude. I think they're going to continue to look to improve their defense core as well, add some depth. And they're a team that thinks they can build off of their playoff appearance last year, in which they really kind of got there on the back of one really long heater.
Yeah, it was not looking good around the midway point of the season. Then they just caught fire. Second best team in the NHL, I believe, from January 1 onwards. We'll see what else they get up to just on that connection to Mitch Marner as well. One of those spots where, if you're the Leafs and you were to go to Marner and be like, hey, Utah, you could maybe understand why Marner would be like, no, I'm staying put. If you go to Marner and say Vegas or Nashville, and by the way, they're interested in extending you and giving you a bunch of money in a tax-free state, you could maybe start to see how Marner would go, cool, I'm in.
Yeah, I could even see the Utah thing, though. I think that team's on the rise. I think they've got tons of picks and prospects that they can leverage. I think they've got a couple really core good players. You see Logan Cooley step into the league and the impact that he's made. I'm a Clayton Keller believer. I just think they're a team that's on the precipice of really being a competitive team.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, hockey fans? If you enjoyed that video, then you need to be hitting the subscribe button right here at Daily Faceoff. Exclusive interviews and analysis from our hockey insider Frank Saravalli, fantasy updates from Brock Sagan, and a daily live show at noon Eastern, Monday through Friday. You don't want to miss any of the fantastic content, so hit that subscribe button.